Hello, welcome to Raw vs. Wrestling for Monday Night Raw on February 20th, 2012. And I'm going to go off and just start off from the beginning of the show this week and just go to the end of the show. Honestly, I thought the beginning of the show was done brilliantly. I actually liked what they did. The heel turn from Eve, honestly, in my opinion, was probably the best heel turn they've done with a diva since Trish Stratus's heel turn at WrestleMania 20. And that was just mostly because at this point in time, it didn't really seem like she was going to turn heel, but they went with it and they're going to go with it. The only complaint I have on the heel turn at this point would be maybe they did it a little too soon. I think they might have waited a few weeks, have her do a little bit more of interaction with John Cena, and then do that type of heel turn. So maybe they did it a little bit too soon. Let's see where they go with this. Hopefully it'll lead into something not major, probably not major, but at least mid-card level here in the near future, with probably her and her getting a guy and then feuding around with Zack Ryder for a little while in that aspect. The interaction between her and John Cena was in the ring was amazing, I thought. You saw a little bit of a different side of John Cena. You got to see some of that more, maybe not heelish, but more of the rapper side that he used to do, where he was, completely dissing her, completely dissing The Rock during the entire thing. The segment itself, I thought was great. It was a great start to Raw, and it was a little bit new, a little bit different for Raw, because you don't typically see them start off with something like that. To continue on, the whole Sheamus, he's going after Daniel Bryan going into WrestleMania here. This is obviously going to be the fourth fiddle on the road to WrestleMania here, because you got so many other big matches going into this. So the world title is going to kind of take a back burner here. It's good that they put these two in it at this point, because you knew the world title was going to be on the back burner of the main events for the night. So why not put two guys that you typically won't put in there and give them a shot to really steal the show, really have some fun with this one going through the pay-per-view. So hopefully this will lead into a good feud with Sheamus and Daniel Bryan. Maybe they'll add someone else, maybe they won't. I don't know where they're going to absolutely go with it. But I think they're going to keep it one-on-one. And Sheamus's match with Mark Henry, it was kept short, it was kept sweet. It definitely put over Sheamus as strong at this point in time, which they needed. The match with Daniel Bryan and Santino, it was kept short and sweet as well, and with essentially a nice reversal when Santino tried rolling up Daniel Bryan for the victory, going into the label lock. That was really nice. But both those matches were kept short and sweet, and at this point they do need to. Because I don't think you're going to see full interaction from them until tonight's live SmackDown, or maybe even next week's Raw in this aspect. The next aspect, the teaming up of Kofi Kingston and R-Truth. I don't know if I'm liking where they're going with this. Are they just doing this for 1 week and they're going to lead into something different for the WrestleMania time? I'm not sure. Of course, for people who were watching last night, you got R-Truth and Kofi Kingston beating the tag team champions. So I'm not sure if this is leading to them getting a tag title shot down the road or at WrestleMania, or what it's going to end up doing. Honestly, I wouldn't mind if they are getting rid of the Money in the Bank pay-per-view this year. I would love to see Money in the Bank, the Money in the Bank ladder match make its way back into WrestleMania and have them be part of it. But that's just all my personal opinion. The last little tidbit, or not really the last little tidbit, I'm going to go into. I'll go into this one last, because there are at least two other areas of Raw I wanted to talk about. One was John Cena's talking about The Rock. After he did the tidbit with Eve at the beginning of the show there, he came back out later in the show and started talking his trash about The Rock and going full on about The Rock and what he thinks, what what WrestleMania means to him and everything. And honestly, I liked what they did here. Like I said, we're not necessarily seeing a more aggressive side of Cena here, but we're definitely seeing a different side of him in these upcoming weeks going into WrestleMania, which is a definite need for him. He needs to change up his character because The Rock's not going to change up his character going into WrestleMania itself. So, because Rock's going to be Rock, so Cena needed to bring out something else, and he's kind of bringing back that little bit of a rapper gimmick that he did have. The next little tidbit I wanted to go into was the Battle Royal to determine the #1 contender for the WWE title. First of all, I love CM Punk on commentary. That was great. It was a load of fun. Him ripping on Cole during the entire time was a lot of fun too, when he made mistakes like calling Kofi Kingston Kofi Rhodes or something, or if he was calling Cody Rhodes that, but he called him Kofi Rhodes. And the little interactions that they had there. Hopefully Punk will eventually be a commentator when he's done with his in-ring stuff. But the Battle Royal itself, it comprised of all the people who did not win from the Elimination Chamber the night before, and this was pretty obvious who was going to win. It was going to be Chris Jericho. The match itself was a lot of fun. Was a nice little Battle Royal. It was a lot of fun to watch, and but like I said, it was pretty obvious who was going to win, where this feud was going to go. Now, hopefully this feud with CM Punk and Chris Jericho will pick up a lot of steam. And the last little tidbit I wanted to go on about the show was the Triple H Undertaker segment at pretty much at mid-show. And that segment was, it was well done. Maybe it was a little bit too soon for Triple H to actually accept the challenge, but the interaction between the two of them, I thought it worked. It was great to see they were going to many different little tidbits of angles here. You had him trying to talk about Shawn. You had him trying to talk the business aspect of what was good or bad for business at that point. Triple H talking about Undertaker's role in the company and everything, but I thought their interaction was great. When he threw the little tidbit about Shawn and Shawn always being better than him, and then Triple H essentially accepting the challenge after that. I wish they would have gone a different route for him accepting it, but this works just as well considering his relationship with Shawn Michaels. And the fact that they made it a Hell in a Cell match, it's just a topping on the icing on the cake for this one, because you have two guys that have pretty much made the Hell in the Cell matches, and they're finally going into there, and there's only one stage for them to do that. It would be at WrestleMania. It wouldn't be like the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view or anything like that. And honestly, this is probably the first time that I've actually got excited about a Hell in a Cell match, because you didn't necessarily know they were going to go Hell in a Cell. They could have gone any other type of gimmick match or anything for that particular match, but Hell in a Cell definitely works considering both their histories inside Hell in a Cell. It should be the show stealer. It should be a lot of fun to watch. It should be very interesting to see what type of Hell in a Cell match they go with. If it's going to be like the more recent ones, or if it's going to be more brutal like the old ones were in this case. But yeah. From what I can see, a lot of about WrestleMania is shaping up to be really good. You got 4 really solid main events there, and hopefully you're going to get a nice undercard going in there in the upcoming weeks. I personally do like the way WrestleMania is shaping up and how it's going to go into the event. Hopefully it will be an extremely fun one to watch. But that's pretty much all I had for Monday Night Raw this week, and I do thank you guys for watching.